Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Dolphin Chronicles presented by Kendall Sports Network. Kendall Sports Network, your number one spot for all things South Florida sports. Obviously, we're talking Dolphins right now, but we've got False Nine for all your Inter Miami fans. We got Hurricane Warning for all fans of the U. And of course, if you want a little bit of everything South Florida sports, This Week in Miami is also available on Kendall Sports Network. So if you're new, hit the subscribe button, smash that like, turn on your notifications, and if you like the video, share it with some friends. We talk all things, again, South Florida sports here. Plenty of shows, and there's a lot more still to come. This, of course, is the Dolphin Chronicles, so we're going to talk some Miami Dolphins football. I am Johnny Cruz. I am the Yankee fan. I am here, of course, with my co-host, Mr. Byron Garcia. Byron, what's going on, bud?
Not much, man. Just here on a Victory Monday, waiting for that Ravens the Harbaugh Bowl. Ravens.
Yes, Ravens Chargers.
Yeah.
Yep. So we will every Monday night again, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. So you can check us out here where we discuss all things Miami Dolphins football. We get you ready for your Monday night game, so we don't keep you very long, but we give you everything you need to know about the week that was with the Miami Dolphins, and we'll touch on a little bit of the upcoming game. So our Miami Dolphins put a nice ass whooping on the New England Patriots, well deserved for the New England Patriots. Got a little ugly there in the fourth quarter. We'll get to that point, I'm sure. But Tua looked good, distributing the ball to all over the place. I think he hit 8 or 9 different receivers. Jonnu came up with another big game. Jalen Waddle made an appearance. Hello, Jalen Waddle. Hadn't seen you in a minute. Tyreek had a few catches for some yards, but the player of the game, besides Tua, the way he played offensively, I think we got to give it to Waddle. I think it was 8 for 124 and a touchdown. Byron, your initial thoughts on the game from yesterday?
Okay, so a quick observation from this Dolphin season. Tua got hurt in week 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Since his
return, third quarter of week 2. Yeah.
Okay. Since his return, we've seen what many thought was a subdued offense, right?
Mm-hmm.
But with Tua coming back and these games progressing, Tua's first game was against Arizona.
Yep.
Defense lost us that game, yes?
Yes, the defense couldn't make a stop there at the end. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they beat us with a last second field goal.
Okay. Then after that, it was
Buffalo.
Which again, the defense let us down.
Fair.
And then we've got another little win streak, yes?
Yep, 3 in a row.
Okay. What I've noticed is this: an offensive game plan that is sustainable on Thursday.
Yeah, I agree with that. Not only sustainable on Thursday, but I was talking to my son Jonathan. Shout out to my son John, big time Miami Dolphin fan. Actually celebrated his birthday this weekend. He turned 28. He turned 28 this past Friday. Yep. Happy birthday to John. We actually talked about it. This style of football is the style of football that we thought they should have been playing the 4 weeks that Tua was out. Running game, short passing game. Don't ask your quarterback to do too much, even though Tua is obviously capable of doing more than what we've had at the quarterback position. But it seems like not as much of the crazy motions. There's still motion because Mike McDaniel has to have motion in every play, but not as much of the crazy motion. And it just seems like a simpler game plan, taking what the defense is giving us. Granted, we don't. Without watching the film, you can't tell exactly the defense that they were playing us those weeks that Tua was out. But this is the type of football that not only can win Thursday night in Green Bay in the cold, but this is December and January football. This is, we have to run the ball a little better, obviously. Alec Ingo will help with that. I know we lost Austin Jackson, I think, pretty much for the year.
Yes, he had
But
knee surgery.
yeah, he had knee surgery, so he's out. But Kendall Lamb has been playing well. There was one play on the Devon Achan little screen pass touchdown where they actually had 6 offensive linemen on there because our boy Patrick Paul was lined up next to Teron Armstead, and I think he threw the safety into like the third row of behind the end zone. So it was nice to see Patrick Paul getting some run. But that's what we need to do in December football is we need to try to establish ourselves in the trenches. Me and you have always talked about we love the fat guys.
Right.
So if you gotta throw 6 of them out there to put a little beef behind it and get those couple needed yards, I love it. I like to. So I hope maybe could it be possible that our coach has finally turned a corner and learned how to adjust a little better? What do you think? I'm hoping that's what it is, but obviously we'll have to see. We need a better sample size than just 3 games. But so far, I'm enjoying the adjustment.
Yeah, what I think is, so there's something to be said for connection and chemistry, right? Last season you had grumpy old man in Vic Fangio, right?
Yeah.
No connection with Mike McDaniel. Get off my lawn.
Right.
You know? This year, Anthony Weaver comes from the Ravens. I think there's something to be said for the philosophy offensively for the Ravens, which is that try to play physical style.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike McDaniel kind of coming to a marriage. And I think it comes from input of Anthony Weaver basically going up to Mike McDaniel and saying, listen, your offense is easy to stop. Like, what's it called? It's not self-analysis, but self-scouting.
Right.
You know? And I think that self-scouting, I think with someone who Mike McDaniel trusts and connects with, I think goes a long way in the evolvement of the offense this season. I don't know what you think.
Well, I mean, wow. You did you hear something, read something, see something where that was something that happened, or is that just something you think might have happened?
No, bro, that's coming from the same place that Jameis Winston starting for the Browns is coming from, and Jordan Travis starting for the Jets is coming from, bro. And both of those, they were hot takes at the beginning of the season, but they just might come to fruition.
No, I hear you on that. But do you think Anthony Weaver actually went up to Mike McDaniel and had a conversation with him like that? I mean, because to say that your offense is an easy offense to defend, it's an easy offense to defend, even though we erupted those 2 years. It's an easy offense to defend if you're not going to adjust to what the defense does to you. So maybe the collaboration, maybe it is true. Maybe it's something that was collaborated amongst all the coaches in the coaching staff.
I think that a conversation technically didn't even need to be had.
Right.
I think if Anthony Weaver on the practice field said, all right, this is what we're doing, boys.
This would have been an interesting season to have Hard Knocks and be able to see some of the practices and to see what happens. So I mean that's fair. I dig it. Hey, whatever works, man. You know what I'm saying? Whatever's gotten Mike McDaniel to this point, I'm digging it. We talked about Waddle having a big game. Devon Achan, in my opinion, has become probably the best offensive player that we have on the team, or especially as far as the way his usage is. Mm-hmm. Now, I am a little worried about his usage. It was nice to see Jalen Wright get some more carries yesterday, even though that fourth quarter was an embarrassment the way it started, and then the fact that Tua had to go back into the game. We'll get to the fourth quarter in a second. But I love what I'm seeing out of Devon Achan. I was a fan of his at Texas A&M. I was hoping that
I rooted against him.
well, yeah. I mean, I got you, but I'm a Hurricane fan, so I wasn't worried about him. I was just enjoying him because I I always do that when I watch college football. I always think about who might look good, you know what I'm saying, or who might be a good player for the Dolphins and stuff like that. That's just something I've always done since I was young. I've always loved the draft. So that's what got me actually into college football, watching college football, was trying to analyze the players there. So I've always been a fan of his. I love what he's doing in for the Dolphins and in the backfield. I love the incorporation of Jalen Wright. I think his issue was not just learning the playbook down. I don't know if it's getting used to the outside zone or what, but there's lanes there that he needs to just cut back into, and he hasn't yet. He's better in the inside zone than the outside zone, but I think he'll get better with time and more reps. But what are your thoughts on Devon Achane and the possibility? Because that's the one thing we're going to need for this offense to continue doing what it's doing. We got to be able to run the ball. So Devon Achane's been playing well, but how do you feel about not only Achane but our ability to continue this offense, but be able to run the ball better? Because we're going to have to run the ball better.
So I am a little concerned about his usage, yes, but it's his own fault.
Yeah.
He's so good out of the backfield. He's good at running the football. You can't not have him on the field. With all the eye candy McDaniel does, his versatility is what gets him on the field.
Yeah, I got you.
Mostert can't do it out of the backfield like he can. I don't know if Wright can do it out of the backfield like he can. Indications are that he can, but
not like Achane. Achane's vision and quickness is ridiculous, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. It's his own fault that he's being used so much. He's too good.
Right. Yeah. I mean, one thing I will give Achane credit for too, and he did it at Texas A&M. I mean, because he carried the load at Texas A&M. I mean, he was carrying the ball 20 plus times a game, and catching the ball out of the backfield. He does a good job of avoiding like the massive hit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I know he did catch a nice hit. On the inside in this game on one of his runs or whatever, but it was just a phenomenal play by the linebacker. But for the most part, he does a good job of not getting squared up.
Do you think that that's the reason that you mentioned his running style, where you see lanes that he can come back into? Do you think that aspect of his game says, I'm just going to stay on the outside, get what I can, and live to play another down?
Devon, you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
No, because if he sees that cutback, he cuts it back towards the middle. He doesn't fear that. I mean, he has the speed to get to the outside, but that's what the wide zone is. And you're trying to go as wide as you can until you see that cutback lane, and then you just hit that hole and go. And he's been great at that. And in the inside zone, his vision and his patience behind the blockers, because he's so quick and shifty, like he can stay behind his blockers and then just make that quick cut and go. And when he accelerates, I mean, it's a beautiful thing to watch. So I think he's perfect for the outside zone runs. I'm not as big a fan of the tosses, like those tosses, and we tend to toss it always to the tight end side, and our tight ends, Smythe and Julian Hill, can't freaking hold the edge for shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's why those toss plays never seem to work. But no, I think he's only going to get better, bro. I mean, he's a young back. That's why I'm saying if we don't run him into the ground and Jalen Wright, catches up in his progression, and he's able to take some of the load off of Devon, I think that has the potential to be a hell of a 1-2 punch in the backfield. And then if you want to throw Raheem in there every once in a while to kind of, you know what I'm saying, short yardage, goal line type stuff or whatever. But even then, Achane has a nose for the end zone too. You know what I'm saying? Like he gets there. So
no, he does.
I'm excited about what this offense has been able to do. I'm with you, like I said, as far as this style being, this style seems. Hopefully, we'll find out Thursday. Hopefully, this style of football of offensive play can travel, and we'll find out. We'll find out Thursday in Green Bay. Before we start touching on the Green Bay stuff, some of the bad. That was such an ugly couple snaps by Skylar Thompson. I was telling John, like,
I don't blame Skylar on the turnover though.
Well, I mean, I blame Jalen Wright because ultimately you're the running back, so you got to make sure you have possession of the ball before anything else. You know what I'm saying? And there was somebody kind of blowing up the play on defense, but you got to expect you're going to take the hit anyway. Make sure you have the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I'm saying? Like the fact that he couldn't last more than 3 plays, and then you had to go and bring Tua back into the game. First of all, Mike McDaniel, why are you putting in your backups in the with 12 and a half minutes left to go in the fourth quarter? I mean, come on now. I understand like 7-8 minutes, maybe, you know what I'm saying, but basically the whole fourth quarter,
I'll be
like
right back.
that was kind of ballsy, bro. Yeah, you good. So that was an interesting thing there for me. That I was wondering about as far as putting Skylar in so early in the fourth quarter. But since it's just me talking to the people here, once again, Kendall Sports Network, all your favorite South Florida sports teams covered right here on this network. Again, we're a young network, but we're getting going. We got a lot of stuff still coming. You know what I'm saying? But Kendall Sports Network, again, all your South Florida sports. We got this Dolphin Chronicles show every Monday night, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, where obviously we talk all things Miami Dolphins. We got our False Nine show for all you Inter Miami fans. We got Hurricane Warning for all fans of the U. And then, of course, a little bit of everything South Florida sports with This Week in Miami. You can catch all of those shows right here on Kendall Sports Network, either on YouTube. We also are live on Instagram. IG is at KSN Sportsnet. You can see it scrolling down there at the bottom. So definitely check it out, subscribe, hit the like, and share with your friends. So my boy's back. All right. So I question putting substitutes in to basically try to play a whole fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. It was nice to, like, I felt confident too, like, oh, we got them. So, you know what I'm saying? But then when you can't get a couple handoffs, and then to see the complete flip, because then after that, when he winds up putting the starters back in, it seemed like everybody was playing till like the last 3 or 4 minutes. And it's like, now we can start taking some guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It just looked bad. The fact that we had to put Tua and everybody back in the game.
Right. But I understand the notion and what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're going to need those guys. Mm-hmm. Today, tomorrow, Thursday, playoffs, you're going to need all of those guys. And what you need is a Skylar Thompson who had a terrible run while Tua was out. Someone who got benched, replaced. You kind of wanted to get him a little bit of feel good, a little bit of confidence, a little bit of kind of get him back to where he thought, he could back up Tua,
Can he?
I mean, I think that we made our feelings clear when everyone was asking for Snoop to come in and and be the starter, but that leads me to a question I wanted to ask.
I'm glad you're going to ask it, because I think I was going to ask you the same question. Go ahead, go for it.
Are we kicking the tires?
On Daniel Jones?
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I would have called him yesterday, right after the game.
Sources say he wants to join a playoff contender. I don't know if we fit.
Well, I mean, we're just as much in the mix as, a lot of teams in the AFC. What, you want to go piggyback and be a bench warmer on a team that you're never going to play to possibly just steal a ring? I mean, if that's what you want to do, if you just want to sit in the back of the bus, like Charles Barkley would say, and go sign with Kansas City and just try to win a title, just to say you got a ring, go for it. Do you want to come to South Beach and learn a new offense, possibly get rehabilitated by by this offensive mind here, and learn how to play the position and how to possibly learn this system? And hey, we have a quarterback, and I love Tua, but we have a quarterback that none of us can front as Dolphin fans. Every time he gets touched, we're all holding our breath.
Mm-hmm.
So why not see what's up?
There's one team that comes to mind immediately, and a second team that is just dumb enough to do it. Which one do you want first?
Yeah, well, tell me Save the dumb one for last.
Okay. The first team that comes to mind is the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, nice, fair.
Sam Darnold has that team at 9-2, but
Yeah.
I don't know why the feeling is that Sam Darnold is one pass away from being benched. Now the problem is that there's nothing to bench him for. But if you sign Daniel Jones, who's the most popular player on every NFL football team?
Yeah, the backup quarterback, no doubt.
Correct. Exactly. That's the one team that sticks out.
I feel you on that, but I have to check something real quick. Because I mean, I hear you on Sam Darnold, even though I kind of like Sam Darnold.
I like Sam Darnold. I think he's a solid NFL quarterback. He's not great. He's not terrible. He's not good, and he's not bad. He's solid.
I think he's a solid. I think he's a solid. I want to see
the game manager. The definition of game manager.
Yeah, pretty much. Trying to see his stats for this season because I think he's playing pretty well. To be quite honest.
Sam?
Yeah, I mean
I think he's playing really, really well.
Yeah, he's got 2,717 yards, 21 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 101.69 quarterback rating, and like you said, they're 9-2. Right. I like the way he's playing. He had that one stinker Sam Darnold game a couple weeks ago. But for the most part, I think he's played pretty good football. I hear you, though. I mean, that's not a bad landing spot for Daniel Jones, especially with JJ being out the entire season.
Right. And the thing is, I don't know why it feels like he's one pass away from being benched. Well, he shouldn't be because he's played, like you said, really, really well.
Right.
But I don't know why. There's just that feeling.
Nah, I hear you on the feeling. I don't know if it's he's one pass away from being benched. But I think he's one completely Sam Darnold from the Jets, another Sam Darnold from the Jets type of game.
Another ghost game?
Yeah, another ghost game. Like I said, he had a stinker a few weeks ago. I think if he had another stinker like that, that might worry the coaches in Minnesota. But for the most part, you know what I'm saying, he's had one stinker in 11 games. That's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Especially since they drafted their quarterback of the future, and then this, you know, they I think they were leaning, at least reports were that they were leaning towards JJ starting.
Oh no, he was going to be a day one starter.
Right. So I think they must be pleasantly surprised with how well Sam is playing. But I hear you. It's almost like it's just like Jameis Winston. Like you're waiting for that 3 or 4 interception game and just complete shit show. But I like that Minnesota choice for Daniel Jones. Who's the dumb team?
The Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh.
The Dallas Cowboys. Can Jerry Jones help himself? You're laughing because you see it now.
I'm laughing because that does seem so far fetched. Like wouldn't that be something, bro? Like I you know, obviously the Yankee fan, for all you people out there who don't know me, who maybe just be checking this out for the first time. I am a New York Yankee and a Miami Dolphin fan, born and raised in New York. So I listen to a lot of New York sports radio. So I hear a lot about the Jets and the Giants and stuff like that. So I've heard how Daniel Jones has been destroyed for the last 6 years. And most of it deservingly so. He's had his couple games here or there. But for the most part, he's stunk up the joint. Wouldn't it be something though for him to go to Dallas and like ball out? Like I would love that. Like I would love that just to irk my brother and that still live up north or whatever, that are Giants fans or whatever. Even though I low key like the Giants, you know what I'm saying?
I can do one better than the Cowboys.
Go for it.
What if the equipment boys just have to switch closets?
Ooh, I that's where I thought you were going.
From the Giants closet to the Jets closet.
That's where I thought you were going. And I mean, Woody Johnson is pretty much in the same boat as Jerry Jones as far as like knucklehead owners or whatever. Woody Johnson is like even worse. I don't think he'll do it only because if you do that, then you might as well just cut and release Aaron Rodgers. Because
Right.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers is gonna want to hear that.
I think that's where they're headed.
Wow. I mean, I did hear something earlier in the week about I didn't think it was true about him possibly being released or whatever, but
they're gonna eat the money anyway. But what I'm saying is, and the only reason I'm bringing that up is because you said, wouldn't it be something if you went to Dallas and balled? Wouldn't it be something if you went to the Jets and balled?
Well, as long as you don't ball the 2 games that we play them, you know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I'm talking about. But I mean that would be interesting. But for the initial question, I would definitely kick the tires on Daniel Jones.
I would too.
To come down here. He's a legitimate starter. Whether say he's not very good, it's clear he's not very good, but he does have some good traits. And again, what can Mike McDaniel do with him?
He wasn't inaccurate in New York.
Right. And you're not asking him to throw the ball deep. You're asking him to run the offense, especially with the way we're playing offense right now, where it's a lot of short timing passes. Just get the ball into your playmakers' hands, let them make plays. And who's
he can extend plays for the deeper passes.
Right. And who's to say that Mike McDaniel can't resurrect his career? Like, you never know. So, I mean, that's besides the fact that I just need something more than Skylar Thompson, bro. Skylar showed me in a couple games that he played that he is scared to step up in the pocket. That's the bottom line. He is scared to step up in the pocket. So
in his defense, the one time he did step up, he ended up with broken ribs.
Okay, but that's part of playing the position, man. I mean, you can't have that fear. You have to be able to step up in the pocket and deliver that football. You know what I'm saying? So, but I hear you on that one. But yeah, if we can get anything better than Skylar Thompson, I think they should definitely check it out. So if they have an opportunity for Daniel Jones, I say go for it. But I do want to touch on what you said when you mentioned him with the Jets. I mean, there's nothing better as a Dolphin fan than to see the Jets in all kind of dysfunction. So do you think Aaron Rodgers gets cut?
It depends. If Aaron, clearly Aaron Rodgers needs control.
Right.
If Woody Johnson decides to take control, what are you gonna do? You can't keep him around and not be the starter.
Right, because I heard a report again, listening to a lot of news, sports radio up north. I mean, I one of the reports that came out was, because again, Woody Johnson is something else. He's the reason why Bill Belichick had the Jets job for one day and then bounced. But there was a report that he was in offensive meetings like early on in the season, and he actually was telling the coach that he wanted Aaron Rodgers benched after week 4.
Well, I think that report was that's one of the reasons that Salah got fired.
That's wild, bro.
That is one of the reasons that Salah got fired. He basically told him
that he wasn't benching him, right?
Right, and then there goes his job,
right?
And then the funny part is that Joe Douglas said something about they're not going to pull me off the practice field and fire me, and they pulled him off the practice field and fired him.
Bro, it's crazy. And I actually like Joe Douglas. I think he's done a fairly good job considering, but part of that report also was that like he had a trade ready to go for Jerry Jeudy, and Woody Johnson told him, no, you have to go get me Devontae Adams. You know what I'm saying? He also had an extension ready for the Huff kid, and Woody Johnson said no, and that's why they had to trade him basically for Hassan Reddick. So I mean, if your owner is basically pulling the strings, sabotaging you or pulling the strings and making you do the deals that he wants you to do, then I mean, can you really blame Joe Douglas for what's been going on? I actually thought he did a fairly good job. I love Brees Hall. I like Garrett Wilson. Sauce Gardner holds like a mother,
Yes, he
but
does.
he's a good player. Quentin Williams is a really good player. Like, so they've made some good choices. But if your owner is basically handcuffing you and stuff like that, I mean, and as Dolphin fans, we know how that is. We have an owner who sticks his nose in stuff sometimes when he shouldn't. So I'm happy again as a Dolphin fan for just to be this dysfunctional. I hope it continues so that way, you know what I'm saying, that's hopefully not easy wins, but two fairly easy wins for us to add on to our ledger because we need all of them that we can get. I truly think we need to win out to make the playoffs. I think we're going to need 11. I don't think 10 is going to cut it because of the way Denver's playing. So before we talk about Green Bay, which we're going to touch on real quick because we're going to cut this short. We know people want to watch Monday Night Football. Do you think 10 wins gets us in there, or do we need to run the table?
I think 10 gets us in there. I think that as the weather turns colder, what's this guy's name? Jesus, Sean Payton.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he can get it done.
Okay.
You
don't think he can get it done? How do you feel about Bo Nix, though?
I love Bo Nix.
I like him too.
I think he's going to be
a good player.
I think this is the year that you need to surpass a team like Denver because Denver is going to start being a player next season.
Yeah.
I think that they started coming they're a season early for what I think they were going to start competing with Bo Nix. The problem is that the window for Bo Nix is smaller because Bo Nix was 37 when he first got into the league. But yeah, I really like Bo Nix.
Yeah, I like Bo Nix too. For all you people out there, he's exaggerating. Obviously, I think he's 23. But he is
like 26.
Nah, I don't think he's that old.
24. He might be 24. Hold on.
23, 24. He's one of the older quarter. He was the oldest quarterback in this draft class, I believe so. It could be 24. But I mean, he had 61 college starts. He's the son of a coach. That always helps. So I think he's going to be a good player. I mean, I hate to say it, dude, but I think Drake May is going to be a player. 24. Yeah. And again, most rookies are 20, 21. So 24 is old for that. But I think that's okay for the quarterback position if you're a little bit older. It's just a couple years. It's not like he's Chris Winkie and he's 27 or coming out, 28 coming out into the draft.
Right. So the difference is this. You draft a guy like Trey Lance. You got to sit him for 3 years.
Right.
Or you draft a guy like Bo Nix, who instead of sitting for 3 years was getting snaps in college for those 3 years, and you can play him right away.
Right.
I think that's the difference between the old times and now, where and we have here comes the Packers.
What's going on, Ernie?
Yeah,
hopefully we're gonna have some grilled cheese on Thanksgiving night. I'll be down for that, man. But I'm looking forward to that game, man. I like the Packers. I like Jordan Love. It's gonna be fun. Thanks for checking it out, Ernie. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I think that drafting four-year seniors as quarterbacks should become a thing again. I would rather them get snaps in college than to have to sit. But the sitting formula has been one that has worked for Ernie's team, the Green Bay Packers.
Right.
They drafted Rodgers. He sat for, I don't even know how long.
3 years.
Came in and was ready.
Right.
They drafted Love. He sat behind Rodgers, came in, and although he still got some growing to do, he was pretty much ready.
Right. Yeah, I hear you on that.
There's a pattern for that.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you on that one there. The one thing I will say as far as to go along with what you're saying too is that if you're going to sit him for a quarterback for 2-3 years, then you need to figure out whether or not you're going to pick up their 5th-year option, whether or not you're going to give them an extension. So it's almost like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. I prefer a quarterback with a little bit more starting experience in college, just so he's a little bit more, snaps under his belt and ready to go. That doesn't mean that if that there's not going to be outliers. Obviously, there's those players that you just know that have ridiculous ability at a young age, and you want to get them in your system as quickly as possible. But I like both. I like this crop of quarterbacks that just came out. This rookie class. Caleb is starting to get stuff together and playing well. Obviously, Daniels in Washington is Heisman Trophy winner. He's kind of falling back to earth. I don't know if that's the injury or if just defenses are starting to catch up with him a little bit. But he's played well. Like I said, I hate to say it, but I like Drake May. He's played well. He's played well for New England. He's going to be a problem for the next 12 years in our division. And I like Bo Nix as well. So a nice crop of quarterbacks that came out this year.
May came out as a redshirt junior.
Yeah, so he had 4 years,
right?
Well, 3 years. 4 years total, 3 years playing.
Jaden started at Arizona State.
Right. He had 3 years of starting too.
Correct. So there's a pattern where you can take the athletes early. I think you need to take the quarterbacks later. And I'm talking about in years, not in like rounds.
Right.
I think you need 4 years as a quarterback in college to understand what that's like.
Right. And I mean, again, and Bo Nix, again, the son of a coach helps out a lot because he's been learning football obviously at a very young age.
Yes.
So he was learning coverages and all that stuff at a very young age, and that's the other thing too is like the programs that these kids come out of as well from college. Like that affects it too. Are they running pro style offenses? Are they, are they asking them to actually call plays, or are they just looking at the sideline and do? Remember the quarterback always look at the sideline and they have a bunch of weird signs and stuff like that they're throwing up and stuff like that, giving them the plays. Like I always hated that because I didn't feel that they were developing the quarterbacks properly. So I'm glad it's gotten a little bit away from that, so that these quarterbacks can actually develop a little bit in college.
So did you hear the story of why Sean Payton selected Bo Nix?
I'm gonna assume because of all his experience, but no. Why?
So Sean Payton gave Bo Nix the playbook the day before his workout, and when Bo Nix came in to his workout, he knew all the plays in the playbook.
See, I mean that's important, bro.
Yeah,
to be able to be able to read a playbook and be able to like lock in all of that information is an incredible feat. And again, there's something to say for being a coach's kid and doing that your whole life. So he's got the arm strength, he's got the mobility, and he seems to obviously have it between the ears. So it's gonna be interesting to see the AFC, bro. With these quarterbacks in the AFC is going to be something, bro. So we gotta hope that our guy stays healthy. But let's touch on this Packer game coming up real quick before we get up out of here. Thursday night, Thanksgiving night. Happy Thanksgiving to all the people out there. Hope you enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the company that you keep. Enjoy the food and enjoy some football. The first couple of games are probably going to be some stinkers, even though Detroit is fun to watch, regardless of who they play. I love Detroit. That's the way I want it. We've talked about it. That's the way we wanted our team to be built it from the trenches out. But whatever, I digress. You know what I'm saying?
Only the Dolphins could have had a coach like that in house.
Well, and I said this on a different show. I don't think he was ready at that time. I don't think he would have been successful at that time. But I'm so happy for him, and I so want them to do well. I love the way they play. I love their style of play. So the Detroit Lions are always fun to play, even though it doesn't matter who they're playing. But that middle game with the Giants and Dallas is actually perfect. So you could take your little power nap once you get full of some food. Take a little power nap during that Dallas Giants game because it's going to be complete ass.
Yes,
and then you can get ready for the nice main course, the nightcap. I
I got asked by a patient today because we were talking about Thanksgiving plans, and she said, "Well, who are you rooting for in that game, in the 4 o'clock game?" I looked at her and I said, "Ma'am, whoever Dallas is playing." That lady fell out of her chair.
I bet. I'm gonna be rooting for the back of my eyelids because again, that's when I'm gonna take my power nap. I'm a little bit older, so I could use a little nap so that way I can make sure I stay up for the Dolphin game. But
That's the dinner game for us.
yeah, that's when that's when we'll be eating. So I won't even be paying
Yeah.
attention to the game honestly. And then I'll take a quick 45-minute nap just for the people out there. A power nap is just a 45-minute nap. I've read somewhere where that's as long of a nap as you should take. Anything more than that, you start to fall into REM sleep, and that's not good. You wake up more tired.
I think it's 20 minutes though.
I need at least 40. I'm old, so I need at least 40. But Packers, Dolphins, Miami traveling up to Lambeau Field in Green Bay to take on the Green Bay Packers that are playing some football. I love the way they played yesterday. They just played smash mouth football yesterday. Josh Jacobs is a beast. He's honestly my biggest worry. We got the Packers. I like Jordan Love. I've always liked Jordan Love. I've said it since before that draft. If it was up to me, I would have taken the either the best offensive lineman available at 5, or I would have taken Jonathan Simmons or Isaiah Simmons, the versatile linebacker from Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would have taken Jordan Love at 18, but that's just me. But we're going up to Green Bay to play the Packers. Jordan Love. Yeah, my biggest fear is Josh Jacobs and the way he's running the ball with that offensive line. Your thoughts on us going up to Lambeau and what we need to do to win this game?
Again, I agree. Josh Jacobs should be the priority. But more than that, I think the key to the defense is going to be that Seahawks linebacker we picked up. I know his name starts with a D. Dowdle, maybe his name, or Dodson or something like that.
Dodson.
Right. Okay, so Dodson, he's going to be the key. Besides the guys up front, Sealer, Campbell,
Chop.
Those guys need to make sure we plug the run, but
Chop's been playing.
Dodson is going to be the key because if those guys get washed up in blocks, he's the guy that cannot allow Josh Jacobs to get past that second level.
Yeah, especially with the Anthony Walker injury. He had a hamstring injury there. I don't expect him to play on short notice like this. So it's going to be interesting to see I mean, for the most part, I think this is the healthiest we've been in week 13 or whatever in a minute. So hopefully we get Alec Ingo back. Hopefully Kendall Fuller is out of concussion protocol and can possibly play this week because there were some reports that they could have been ready for this past game, but they might have been held out so that they're ready for this Green Bay game. I don't know how true that is, but we'll see.
I heard that too.
But I'm with you totally there. I think linebacker play and including the edge, we have to put pressure on Jordan Love. We can't let him sit back there. But first and foremost, we have to stop the run. I think we're going to have to be able to run the ball as well. It's supposed to be cold. It's supposed to be in the mid 20s. To upper 20s, especially at night. But that's not too bad considering it's not -6 or whatever the hell it was in Kansas City. So it's gonna be
outright dangerous. But...
Right. It's gonna be chilly. It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be brisk. But you know what? Get out there, play some football. Once you start hitting or whatever, you got to get past that.
It really does go
right.
away.
It does. You know what I'm saying? So, but this is like Tua said in his press conference. They need to kill some of these narratives, and this is one of them. Is 1, beating a good team, 2, winning on the road, and 3, winning in cold weather. So you can knock out all 3 of those narratives with this one game. But it doesn't end here. Obviously, we got to go to Cleveland, and then we're going to have to go up to New York at the end of the season. But as far as this game here, we have to control Josh Jacobs, and I think we have to continue the offensive play that we have to continue the efficiency that we have on offense. We can't settle for field goals. We can't have a bunch of penalties. Like we've been playing really clean football these last few weeks. That has to continue. even though we're going to be in the elements and on the road. I think if we can do that, I think we win the game. Do you want to give the people a score prediction for this Thursday? Or you want to save it for one of the other shows?
I think that if we can keep Green Bay under 24, I think we win. That's what I'll say.
Okay. I agree with that because I think we'll put up points. I think we'll score at least 24. So I'm gonna give you that score. We're gonna win 24-20.
I think we win 27-24.
I'll take it, even though you said under 24. But I'll let you get away with that.
Yeah, I mean, when I say okay, so 27-23. That one
okay,
work?
that'll work. I'm sorry for being Captain Literal, man, but but yeah, like I told John yesterday, I don't care what the score is as long as we have one more point than the other team. Right. So, but I think we could win this game. Obviously, like I told my son John as well. Like I don't think there's any game left on the schedule that we can't win. But at the same time, if we play the way we played before these 3 weeks, we could lose every one of them. So hopefully we come out ready to play.
I'm on the fence with one more.
At Houston?
Yes.
Yeah. The only reason that I'm not too worried about at Houston is because it's indoors. So I think offensively we'll be okay. Yeah, there may be some loud noise, but the way we've been running the offense now, where there's not so much of the silent, timing snaps or whatever because of the motions, I don't think it'll affect us as badly as it did before. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of those speed motions were all timing based as far as the snap and stuff, and we're not so reliant on that. So I don't think the crowd noise will affect the way we're running our offense right now.
The physicality of the Niners also scares me.
Yeah, it does, but they've got a bunch of injuries, and nobody's gonna feel sorry for anybody for injuries or whatever. But this isn't the same San Francisco team as the last few years. I think they can get got. I think Houston, as you can see, hasn't lived up to expectations after the season they had last year. I think they can get got. And then we got 2 against the Jets, and then we got at Cleveland. And yes, Jameis Winston had a good game this past week or whatever, but Jameis Winston is Jameis Winston. So the same way he can have a good game, he can also throw 4 interceptions. So
Jameis Winston's going to throw it up there, whether his team and the other team, but he's going to throw it.
Right, absolutely. So it's going to be interesting to see, but I think we can win this game. Again, control the run and establish the run, and we can win it. For all the new people out there, this is the Kendall Sports Network. This is the Dolphin Chronicles. Again, if you're new, hit the subscribe, smash that like button. Turn on your notifications so you know whenever we are going live. Share the video with the people. For the people on IG, what's going on? How you doing? Hope you have a good, happy, healthy, safe Thanksgiving. Enjoy the football games, but don't forget, not only is it the Dolphin Chronicles, we got False 9 for all Inter Miami fans. We got Hurricane Warning for all fans of the Miami Hurricanes football. And then if you're interested in a little bit of all South Florida sports, This Week in Miami is also available on Kendall Sports Network. And there is more to come, people. So definitely check us out. Give us an opportunity. A lot of banter like this back and forth. We like to have fun and have a good time. We love our sports teams, and we love talking about them. So you got anything else for the people before we get up out of here, Byron?
Not much, bro. You covered it all.
All right. Everybody have a safe Thanksgiving. Again, enjoy the people that you surround yourself with. Enjoy the food. Enjoy the football. Let's hear it for a Dolphins victory for Byron. I am Johnny Cruz. Shout out to Alex and his beautiful wife. Happy birthday to them. I hope that they enjoy their dinner. This is the Dolphin Chronicles on Kendall Sports Network. Peace.